I thought this was interesting because it's usually technologies that people don't think too much about, or sometimes when people talk about blockchain and metaverse stuff, they get kind of obscured with profit models rather than what I think is one of the most important things for actually tying virtual worlds to, let's say, scarce assets that blockchains are able to provide and how that's actually necessary to build a metaverse. The other thing is like, what does that search engine look like? How do people actually find the place they're supposed to be if the internet becomes fully 3D functional in such a way that you'd want to traverse it as a metaverse? So, universal scene description, a technology that's used by Pixar to basically create taxonomies for their 3D models. This can be the base layer of kind of like HTML for the metaverse. So the same way that Google indexes all the HTML on your page to determine whether or not the content of that page is actually what somebody is looking for, this can be the kind of protocol layer for a metaverse where you're saying, "Hey, I like fast cars. I know there's a Formula One game I could jump into, but what's something that some indie game studio has made or indie creator has made? Like, give me other things like that." And if they're using universal scene description to actually create their models and put tags on them appropriately, uh, now we have a much better way to kind of navigate what would be a true metaverse online. So that's my take on it. I'm curious what everybody else here thinks about it. Henze, you want to go first?
Yeah, I like the concept because we do have to index the metaverse some way, somehow. I do know that, like, for these type of things, especially in the crypto or blockchain space, Chainlink is usually the one that comes in and try to index everything, create a standard for things of some sort. Now, with the metaverse, there would have to be some type of standard that's created. This can be that, and if it's adopted, I think it would be a great way for just like how you described, for people to just explore the different variety, right? And the reason I say that is because most people think metaverse, they think games, but most other people don't realize that there are photorealistic metaverses as well.
Mm-hmm.
So just like with your race car concept or example, if someone wanted to find a metaverse about cars, they can see the variety that the space have built out for it.
Yeah, like
Now,
Jay Leno's car collection. Like he could make
right,
a
right,
virtual world that
a
would be the
virtual
equivalent
space
of a
car,
website, and now I get to walk through and sit in Jay Leno's cars if he indexes
correct.
them correctly.
The only thing that stands in the way of this is if it gets adopted by the developers. Maybe there's a AI play here where things automatically get indexed through some of the building softwares that we build on, some of the engines. Maybe there's a different way to kind of index some of these things, but at the end of the day, I think if we start using it, if the builders start using it, you know, maybe it'll catch on, but then you still have to build the front end, right, for the users to be able to go ahead and search through that index. So, very interesting concept. I do like where it's going with it because right now it's just all over the place. It's who you know and just kind of displaying things out there that people are just promoting themselves. This would be a great way.
Yeah, I mean
Randy,
it's like an old joke in software like, "Oh, we have two standards for something, so I'm going to go and create the universal standard that binds them together." And then you just
correct.
end up having three standards. So,
Right.
yeah, in my conversations with people who work on blockchain stuff or even blockchain gaming, Solana ecosystem, the biggest thing is like there is no interoperability, so you don't really have a metaverse until you have interoperability. So, Randy, what are your thoughts?
I think anything that attempts to try to make understanding the metaverse simpler is a good thing. I feel like I've jumped back into the DOS prompt era of trying to understand how to get around the metaverse and where to go. And it's, I try to do my own research, and I've gone into a couple of metaverses only to just get in there and go, where am I at? What am I doing? And what am I looking for? So they find a universal standard or universal language, or a way for people to figure out, first of all, what am I looking for and how do I find it? And then how can I experience it? Because as we know, there's nothing worse than having this anticipation of this experience and then getting in there and just finding frustration. So if it makes things easier, I'm for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can bring your AI friend along with you, I guess, too, right? Into the metaverse. Just a joke, just a joke. What I loved about this article, honestly, I'll call it accidental innovation, right? So, just a little bit of more backstory for folks that haven't read it yet. This was really Disney, right? They were creating Finding Dory, the movie back in 2016. They were trying to figure out a way to get their artists to collaborate, artists that were flung across the globe to collaborate in building these kind of 3D worlds for the movie. And boom, they created this universal scene description, or USD, which is called now. And now there's these applications for it, like NVIDIA using it for internal apps for simulation AI, including for autonomous vehicles. And so this idea that, one concept can be pivoted to be useful in so many other ways. That's what I love about this article on innovation. So there's a question out there that I want to answer. Also, by the way, everybody, looks like Ray Hayden is asking, Dawn, this is going to be on your YouTube channel later, right? I think I need to see the first portion, which I missed. And the answer is yes, yes, yes. This is on the Dawn Zolda YouTube channel, but also full crew. So make sure you're subscribing. Here we go. We got your little subscribe button. Like it. Hit the bell. You'll get the notifications when we're going live. You'll never miss an episode. So absolutely check that out. Thank you for asking that question. But anyway, I love the Finding Dory or origin story of this article and of this technology. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not this ends up becoming the actual HTML, I mean, it's a great headline, right? But I just think it's a step in actually kind of understanding the need, even from a journalist standpoint, right? So the fact that they're covering it and thinking about that, I think we're starting to understand the need for indexing on virtual worlds. But I also want to tap into what Henze was saying about, like, maybe the solution is not as close to what we've used for the traditional web as one might assume, right? In fact, a lot of AI indexing and tools there are being utilized by Google. And I'm not really that happy with the results these days. But I do think that there's something to, once we turn kind of AI taxonomy applications, like you already see is being done really, really well in 2D world, when you turn that on 3D assets, it actually becomes easier to define what something is, right? Like, what makes a chair? Well, if you could, a chair in 2D is actually a very, very persnickety thing to kind of get a hand on. It's whereas a chair in 3D, it's got 4 legs, it's got a back, you could sit on it. You know, it makes it much easier for it, I think, for an AI to navigate that. And we've seen that actually. I have friends at Unleash Live. They do AI that's integrated with drones, and one of the things that made their technology work was actually having multiple drone cameras looking at the same thing rather than just one. More information is better. So the third dimension adds a whole other field of information for an AI to do kind of this categorization.